So I have to say this since you're a big fan of. God damn it! I was right there.
John Bosa, you piece of shit.
Since you're into RPGs and stuff like that, I've seen people's lists of like what they think definitive games for like the genre were, and games that have just about like kind of treaded the way for like the future. What do you think about Final Fantasy VII? Do you think it's overrated, or it is exactly where it needs to be in people's minds, basically?
That is a loaded question.
It's not a loaded question. I'm just curious to see what you think of it. Is it overrated, or is it a really good game but just not? Do you think people give it more credit than it deserves?
Well, if your ass had watched Final Fantasy episode 5.5, you would have seen me and Kevin's discussion on Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, fuck.
But, no, because a lot of people won't watch 5.5, or, they won't watch that series anyway. But, I mean, it bears reiterating.
Sure.
I would equate this to the same level as Ocarina of Time for the N64. I've recently watched Game Grumps play it, and I know Aaron... he likes the game, but I'm finding myself agreeing with him more and more a little bit now that I really think about it. People revere that game as like a masterpiece, 10 out of 10. Mm-hmm. It's no flaws, it's perfect. But if you go back and play it, the game is not perfect. There's a lot of things, but then again, what game is?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where a lot of people, I feel, base their opinion on it based out of nostalgia. You loved it as a kid. For the time, it was a 10 out of 10. But now that we've advanced and learned more and more from our mistakes, you can look at it from a critical point of view and be like, all right, this game was more of a 7 out of 10. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as far as Final Fantasy VII goes, I mean, I liked it. I mean, for the time, it was the first 3D Final Fantasy, and it was spectacular. But 8 was better. I liked 9 better than 8. I actually didn't like 10 very much. I didn't like 12 either. So, I mean, I really don't know. I don't know. That's a very interesting question, actually.
Who was the main character in Final Fantasy VIII?
That would be Squall.
Squall.
Yes.
All right.
The one with the scar, and he's got the gunblade.
Yep. So your next question then. Do you think Squall was dead?
Dead. Oh, the whole theory that he died at the end of disc 1.
Yep.
That's it's a good question.
What do you think? Since you're so into Final Fantasy VIII and you think that it was great, like what do you feel?
I don't read too much into it like that. I always just figure it's one of those goofy... I mean, it's Final Fantasy. It's magic. Who the hell knows what the fuck happened? That was one thing that always eluded me in those games.
Oh, gotcha.
You have revival magic, but somebody dies in the story, and you why can't you revive them? You know what I mean? Like, how did Aerith die in 7? Spoiler alert, I guess.
Oh, God! Oh, God!
Oh, no!
No, you just ruined it for me!
How did Aerith die when I know life magic? This makes no sense! I revived you 9,000 times against Genova. This makes no sense at all. So
yeah, why is this death all of a sudden it just means so much?
Why is this permanent? It's just, that's why I've never understood games with like revival magic, but then characters are permadeath. Like, it didn't make sense to me. But
it really takes away like the impact of death, because if you can revive a character over and over and over again, it's like, why does this death mean something when it didn't like 5 deaths ago?
Yeah.
Like,
so that was always one of those things that I never understood. But I mean, I've heard that theory that all of, or the rest of 8 after that, where he was dead throughout it, and that's why, like,
it's just because it's like
nobody remembers that they all grew up together and all this other shit. He's up in space floating around and fucking, he's off on his own on an island or whatever.
Yeah. Well, he's got a
very strange,
humongous ass icicle hanging out of him, and then all of a sudden vision goes black and you're back in the story.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
And that is
Signs kind of point to maybe, yeah.
It never really explains what happened. So it's a good
anything could happen.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I played it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I could swear disc 2 literally just kind of picks up at like a different point, and like nothing's changed. Like things have changed, but like
so minorly that you don't even think like, oh yeah, he died.
Like I don't even remember if like they remember that he got killed or maybe killed. Like I'd have to go back and replay it, but it almost seems like nobody's shocked to see him, if I remember correctly.
Oh, I get you.
Like, I thought you got bored a while.
What are you doing?
Yeah, you were impaled like 20 minutes ago. What happened? Like, I don't know. Like I said, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but yeah. Fire Emblem has always been really good with permadeath.
Deaths are permanent.
Yes.
From the very start.
Yes, with the exception of like a few key main characters. But it was, if a character died, they're dead.
Sweet Home was one of the very earliest examples of that too. That was permadeath as well too. And in fact, it got to the point to where certain characters, if they died, you weren't beating the game. You had to start all over again.
And that element really adds quite a bit of.
It does. It adds
stuff to
it adds sheer terror to it because
it really does.
Nothing will invest you quicker than the fact that you now have to keep your characters alive.
Yes.
As long as you can. Their deaths equal your death.
Yeah. Every decision you make it has to count. Which I've kind of liked that thought. There's actually, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a way of playing Pokemon, I think it's called Nuzlocke, where you can only use... How does this work? It was... Yes! There are different variations of it. There's something Nuzlocke where you could... The very first Pokemon you meet in a route is the only Pokemon you can use, like, from that route. So, like, let's say the first thing you meet is a Pidgey. You catch that Pidgey, that's the only thing you can catch
from that area. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's what it was. I can't remember what it was, but the whole idea of it is once the Pokemon faints, you release it.
Oh.
So, I mean, if it ends up to where your starter, or like everything's gone, you lose the game. Because, I mean, obviously you can't release a Pokemon that you have.
So wait, God damn it. So if you had to say it fainted, like late in the game or something like that, and you had to get a new or you had to release it, then could you go back to that route and catch the next first Pokemon that you see?
I'm not entirely sure how, like, the logistics of it, but I know, like, the basic idea of it is once the Pokemon's fainted, then you release them, you cannot use them anymore.
Yeah.
And that alone adds quite a bit of suspense, considering late game, like, it turns into one-hit slugfest based on weaknesses. So it's like, I've never tried it because I don't have that much dedication to the game. It's like, I like to have fun.
Yeah, sure. Well, I can tell you right now, I've put myself through some challenges that I don't think I ever want to challenge myself on that game again.
The Ash's challenge.
Oh, fucking Ash. Touchdown. Yeah, Ash sucks. His Pokemon will do you no good.
No.
Oh, God.
But yeah, so like the idea of permadeath, while I like it, sometimes it's annoying. And that's why I've actually liked the recent Fire Emblems, Birthright and Conquest. Or not Conquest, what was it? Maybe it was. Where it's like you could actually turn permadeath off.
Oh,
I think Fire Emblem Awakening started that, where you could actually turn permadeath off.
You could just turn it off.
Yeah.
So if you want it on, you keep it. That's cool, giving the players the choice of what they want.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of interesting. Speaking of challenges, I've thought about this.
What?
You probably won't like it, but I've thought of something maybe we should try to do on Power Trip. How much would you be willing to try the Super Mario RPG Level 3 challenge or whatever it was?
Are you serious? I've already done that.
I know you have.
I've already done that.
But I don't think many people know what that is.
I stopped playing Super Mario RPG for a year and a half because of that.
Explain to the nice people what the Super Mario RPG level, or is level 3
the
challenge,
level
right?
3 challenge.
Level 3 challenge.
Okay. So, with the level 3 challenge, Super Mario RPG. Okay. So, you will go through the game up until I think it's facing as minimal enemy encounters as you can, running away from everybody who you possibly can. So only doing the minimum amount of fights that you can. Mario will only get up to level 3 before the and then you can make it through the rest of the game as a level 3 Mario, and your other characters will be at their respective levels, whatever it is. I think Geno would be at like level 7, Bowser would be at level 9, Princess would be at level 11 or whatever it is. From that point on, and I think it's in Moleville, because you get the Lucky Jewel, and then there is a weapon that you can get from the Lucky Jewel. What you do is you use it, and it causes you to, every time you get into a fight, you get to play the Lucky game, where you get to either double your experience, your coins, or whatever, or you'll lose it all. And the point of the Lucky game is so that you have to pick the wrong egg so that you lose your experience. And damn it. And once you make it far enough, because the lucky egg will only ensure that for up to 10 battles, then you'll get the lucky hammer, so Mario can use the lucky hammer to then use it once, so that every time you'll get the lucky game in a match. So where it gets shady and tricky and difficult is the fact that when you play the lucky game, it'll either ask you whether you want to double your experience or your coins. Now that's completely random. So, if you want to, if it says that so you win your battle, and it says, lucky game, would you like to double your coins? You've got to restart, because now you can't choose to.
You're gonna get experience.
Yeah, you're gonna get experience. You can't avoid it. So you have to restart the battle. If you choose, or if you play the lucky game and it then says, would you like to double your experience? You have to pick the wrong egg so that you don't get any experience. If you pick the right egg, you have to restart. If you pick the tie egg, that means that you're going to get the normal experience that you would have gotten. You have to restart the game.
Wow.
You have to pick the wrong egg every time you battle. Now, where this gets extremely tricky is there are a couple battles where you will go from battle to battle without a break in between. One notable one is you will fight the big giant sword Exor. Well, you'll face Boomer, and then immediately after Boomer, you'll get experience there, and then you'll go right into Exor. And you have to pick the wrong egg twice in a row at that point. Twice. It's tough enough to do it once, you have to do it twice. If you make it past Boomer and you succeed, then you still have to beat Exor, which is difficult enough, but then you have to pick the wrong egg, and if you don't, you have to restart.